Good morning, boys and girls. So, today's homework will be a little quicker because we don't have to correct anything. You do need to have worked on iExcel yesterday to get credit for doing your math work. So if you didn't do that, hurry up and go in there and do your work. But otherwise, I can see when and what you've done, and I can just give you credit for what you've done. So today's lesson is lesson 818. You notice that I'm jumping around a little bit. It's important for us to talk a bit about finding the area of triangles before we hit the end of the year. Your I can statement for today is, I can develop a formula for finding the area of a right triangle. And you need to watch your Explain Everything video, and then you need to complete page 397 397 and 398. So this is the page that you're going to start working on first. So if you know how to find the area of a right triangle or of a rectangle, you will be able to figure out how to find the area of a right triangle because they are directly related. So I'm just going to move to a part of the paper where we can do some examples. So I have my pen here and I'm going to draw a rectangle. Oops, we don't want yellow, we want black. All right, let's draw that rectangle. Let's just say that this is 3 and this is 8. And it can be inches, it could be feet, it could be whatever. Now, if I take my pen and draw, and this isn't going to work perfectly on the screen, a straight line, I'm dividing this rectangle in half. And again, it's not going to be perfect, but you can see that I have a right angle here, and I have a right angle here. So if I want to find the area of 1/2 of this, what you're going to do is you're going to take 8 times 3 equals 24. Now that gives you the area of the whole rectangle. Now we only want the area of half of that. So if I know the whole rectangle is 24, then I want to figure out what's half of 24. So half of 24, you take 24, get back to a regular color pen, 24, and you divide it in half or divide by 2 to get 12. Now I know that the area of my right triangle, because it's half of the shape of the rectangle, is 12. All right, let's try another one. Start with a rectangle. Same process for each one. We're going to draw a diagonal line going through it. That was a better one, not quite as wobbly. And then we have to put some measurements on it. So we could say that one is 15 centimeters. And this looks like that would be a little bit less, so let's call it 12 centimeters. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to take 15 and you're going to multiply it by 12. 5 times 2 is 10. Put down your 0, carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 more is 3. So I'm done with that column. I'm going to the next one. I have to use my placeholder 0. I go 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 1 is 1. And then you add them up. And you see what you get. You get 180. Oops. Gotta use my eraser here, I guess. Back to my pen. Now we've got 180. Now, that 180 is for the whole shape. What I want is to know what is half of that shape. I just want to know what's this side. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to take 180 and you're going to divide it by 2. And I know that half of 18 is 9, and then I just have to add in that last 0 and put on my centimeters. So we just talked about the formula for finding the area of a right triangle. And the way they write that mathematically is 1/2 base times height. And so what that means is you multiply your base and your height. Here's another way you can say that. You can multiply that. That makes more sense to have the x in there. And then you times it by 1/2. Now, timesing by 1/2 is the same as dividing by 2. So it means the same. Base times height. And it means the same. However, this is the way that mathematicians write it. Okay? And I did forget one thing when I put my label on this one right here, in this label here. It should be centimeters squared. So I need to go back in and add in that 2 because I'm talking about 2 dimensions. It has a length and a width. So length and a width, base and a height, that kind of thing. So using that information, you're going to look at what we have done here on this. I've given you the formula pretty much already so that you can understand what to do. Now, when you get down to questions number 6, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to take 12 times 12. Let's get some room here. You're going to take 12 times 12, which I know is 144. And then you're going to divide that by 2. 144 divided by 2 equals 72. And then this would be inches squared. 2 goes into 14 7 times. 7 times 2 is 14. Subtract, you get 0. Bring down the 4. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 times 4 is 4. Subtract, you get 0. So I did know that half of 144 is 72 in my mind. So for the formula, you'll go back to 1/2 times base times height. So on this page, they're asking you to come up with the area of a rectangle and then come up with the area of the shaded triangle. So I think you should be able to do that. Do your best on problems numbers 13, 14, and 15. I think you can figure them out. If you have questions, you can ask and I'll help you out. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to submit a picture of your work from page 397 and 398, please. Do that in Google Classroom.